It's great to have you on, Will. And I think let's start there as we are counting down to liftoff here. Just a little bit about your co-founder of Planet Labs and the fact that he is on board this New Shepard capsule right now.
Yeah, Chris is a space enthusiast through and through. It's a really exciting day. I'm slightly nerve-wracked for him, but also excited for him for this journey up to space. Look, it's a fascinating time in space as well. There's just a space renaissance going on. We've got new rockets, space tourism, helicopters on Mars, hundreds of new satellites going into space, helping us to take care of the Earth, and a big new economy. It's like the birth of the internet going on for space. It's exciting times.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. And certainly we spent a lot of time talking about the human spaceflight component of it. It's been such a big year in terms of ushering this new era of commercial human spaceflight, and it's certainly sensational. It gets a lot of attention, case in point today. But it's just one piece of this growing space economy pie. So in terms of the company that you created with Dr. Bosshausen, I guess let's talk a little bit about that, since when we talk about things like satellites and data as a service, that is, at least from an investor standpoint right now, where a lot of the near-term opportunities seem to be.
Yeah, you guys were just talking on this program about the wicked trajectory of Bitcoin and the like. I think the trajectory in space is even more exciting. We saw more than about $10 billion invested in space last year, up tenfold over the last few years. Yeah, there's a huge new economy. Our company, Planet, we have 200 satellites. They image the whole Earth every day to help a wide variety of use cases. Like millions of farmers use our data to improve their crops. Google uses it to improve the maps that you have online. NASA uses it to check key climate variables around the planet, help us understand climate change. We're helping California with the fires, Germany with the floods. It's basically data to help us to take care of the planet. But it's just one example of, a renaissance happening. So there is this broader economic shift that's happening below the really exciting billionaires going to space and new rockets that you see on the news.
Yeah, we're T-minus 8 minutes and change to liftoff here as it stands for this crewed New Shepard flight with Blue Origin right now that your friend and co-founder is on board. But I guess just in terms of Planet itself, I mean, in addition to this being such a big year for human spaceflight, it's been a big year for space companies coming public and courting more investors. And your company is an example of that. It's merging with a SPAC right now. So I guess talk to us a little bit about growth and that growth trajectory. When we talk about renaissance from an investor standpoint, just how quickly are you growing?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. We're going public right this second. It's a really exciting time. We're going to be hopefully on the New York Stock Exchange within the next couple of months here before the end of the year. There are other companies doing that too. Our growth trajectory is really solid. We did just over 100 million in revenue last year, and we're projecting about just over 40% growth rate for the next 5 years. Back on the back of all these applications that I was saying, like in agriculture, like in mapping, like governments with disaster response. The world is in need of these new data sets. Everyone's talking about AI, and it's powered by these new data sets and especially when we're trying to transition to a sustainable economy, data sets from space help us to do that. They help us to measure natural capital. So every company trying to measure its ESG target needs this kind of data. Every country trying to measure its emissions needs our data. We just announced a new fleet of satellites that's going to measure emissions directly, so methane and CO2 emissions, to help this kind of change. And the sustainability transformation is a big economic opportunity, and people don't often realize, but space data is behind that. And so it's a fascinating time. We're on a high growth trajectory based on those demands for our data.